You are listening to the voice of self-discovery. Learn to discover a better you every day. Good evening, people. Another Friday is here and we are continuing the series on growth and self-improvement. If you've been following this series, you know we started with learning the 7 principles of growth and self-improvement. Then we learned how to make ourselves teachable and we moved on to learn how to cultivate self-discipline. Today, we are talking about gratitude and how it is linked to our growth. Before I get into all the facts about gratitude, I want to tell you a story about one teacher called Miss Helena. So Miss Helena is a grade 4 class teacher who went to school on one fateful Wednesday, and she distributed plain sheets to her students and asked them to sketch one thing they are grateful for. After a few minutes, she began calling on her pupils to share what they are grateful for. The first child who volunteered to speak sketched trees and said, "Miss Helena, I'm grateful for the trees because they give me oxygen." The second child, who drew cartoons, something representing a male and a female, which in his perspective represents his parents, said, "I'm grateful for my parents because they take care of me and give me yummy food every day." And there was this other boy in the class called Joel who drew hands. But before he told the class what he was grateful for, he asked his classmates if they could guess whose hands he drew. One boy put up his hand and said, "I think those are your hands, Joel. You are grateful to have hands to make sketches." The class laughed and Joel politely said, "No, I didn't sketch my hands." Then he turned to Miss Helena, his class teacher, and said, "I sketched your hands, Miss Helena. I'm grateful that you hold my hands to cross the street every day." Touching, isn't it? And I began to think about how different our lives would be if we were grateful for the things and people we have in it. And more, what would be the effect on ourselves and the people in our lives if we simply let them know that we are grateful to have them? Before I even continue to share what the benefits of gratitude are and how it is linked to our growth and self-improvement, I just want you listening to me to know that I'm grateful that you are here. I'm grateful that you chose to listen to my content, and I want you to know your listening, comments, and feedback makes all the difference in my ability to continue doing this for you. And for those of you who comment, I'm grateful to know that you find my content inspiring and insightful. I sincerely appreciate your feedback. And I particularly feel blessed to have life, to be in good health, and to be able to connect with you right now through this podcast. So folks, you see, gratitude should not just be an occasional act, like a one-off statement we make. It should be our lifestyle. Let's make gratitude our lifestyle such that it's part of our way of life. Think about the last time somebody said a heartfelt thank you to you. How did you feel? Imagine you get that feeling every single day and are able to give same to the people in your life, be it at home, at work, or at school, wherever you find yourself. The simple act of appreciating what we have and showing people that they are appreciated can go a long way to transform our lives. Many of us express gratitude by saying thank you to someone who has helped us or giving us a gift. But from a scientific perspective, gratitude is not just an action or the uttering of words. It is also a positive emotion. And positive psychology defines gratitude beyond a thankful feeling. It talks about it as a deeper appreciation for someone or something that produces longer lasting positivity. Further, in one psychiatry research by Harvard Medical School, it talks about gratitude as a thankful appreciation for what an individual receives, whether tangible or intangible. And I like the aspect of the conceptualization of gratitude that says gratitude helps people connect to something larger than themselves as individuals, whether other people, nature, or even a higher power. And in thinking about gratitude, I want us to also think about it beyond an emotion. Let's think about it as a virtue, as a moral sentiment, a motive, a coping response, a skill, an attitude, or even further, a way of life. And it is all of these and more, I believe. But if you want to look at it minimally, you look at it as an emotional response to something one receives or something one has in his or her life. But I believe gratitude is so much more, and the more we begin to think about it as an attitude, a virtue, a way of life, the more we position ourselves to be able to live it out louder. So that said, I think gratitude comes in two different stages. First comes the acknowledgement of goodness in our lives, where we say yes to life and we affirm that all in all, life is not bad, life is good, and has elements of it that makes it worth living irrespective of our challenges and difficulties. And focus on that aspect of life. And we then begin to acknowledge goodness in our lives that gratifies us both by its presence and by the effort of the giver of that goodness. Secondly, we can look at the second stage of gratitude, I think, is recognizing that some of the sources of this goodness in our lives lie outside of ourselves. And we can be grateful to other people, to animals, to nature, and to the world, and not necessarily to ourselves. And it is at this stage that we recognize the good things in our lives and who to thank for them. And we begin to appreciate the sacrifices of other people and the seeds others have planted for us to have the sort of life we have and the goodness that we feel. And I believe the two stages of gratitude comprise the recognition of the goodness in our lives, like I said, and then how this goodness came to us, which most often is external. It didn't come to us by ourselves. It came from sources outside of ourselves. And this whole process in itself is healing, is refreshing. And the more we recognize everything that makes our lives and ourselves better, the more we attract things to be grateful for. Now, if you are wondering how gratitude can transform your life, here's how. You can actually use gratitude to form new social relations or to strengthen current ones. Imagine you just chance on somebody in a public place. Something of theirs drops, and then you pick it for them. They say thank you, you smile, they smile back, all of that. Just building connection and meeting new people. Simple acts of gratitude can communicate goodwill and make people more willing to talk to you, or more willing to open up to you, to share their business card, or to just establish contact with you. So gratitude can actually help you form new social relations, and it can help you strengthen current ones, like I said. You can even use acts of gratitude to make amends and to help solve problems. Alternatively, even you, the person showing gratitude, will feel gracious, because it can be an intrinsically rewarding process. Your ability to recognize goodness in your life, things in your life to be grateful for, irrespective of challenges or difficulties or whatever odds you are experiencing, you are still able to recognize things to be grateful for. That's an intrinsically rewarding process. Simply by being grateful for being alive, for example, is a great way to motivate yourself to seize the day, because you recognize that you have life, others don't. Not everybody was able to wake up to see a new day, but you did. And so your ability to recognize that gift that you have is just a good opportunity to help you seize the day and not live recklessly. For example, if someone is sad, you write them a note of appreciation. You are likely not asking for anything in return. Instead, what you are doing is you are reminding them of their value and expressing gratitude for their existence. And you cannot underestimate how that person is going to relate with you after that, because it's like you were the person who lifted them up when they were down. So gratitude has tremendous effects on our social relations and how we are able to bond and connect with others. I've also learned that expressing your thanks can improve your overall sense of well-being, and I've experienced this. Research has also proven that grateful people are more agreeable, more open, and less prone to anger. You know, this is not to say that if you are grateful, all your social interactions are going to be smooth. That's not what I'm saying. But because you have this sense of gratitude, you are living in gratitude, you tend to be more empathetic towards others, because as much as you acknowledge what you have, you're also able to recognize what others don't, and you are more willing to offer a helping hand, to even freely give out acts of kindness. And this, as much as benefits whoever is receiving it from you, it also improves your own well-being. Research has also proven that gratitude is inversely related to depression. This goes without saying, and positively to life and satisfaction. But that is not to say depressed people should simply be more grateful and they are going to get over depression, as I believe depression is a lot more complicated. But perhaps practicing gratitude can be part of the therapy and treatment for people who struggle with depression, and this would go a long way to improve their overall sense of well-being. And like I was telling you earlier, gratitude can help you form stronger social bonds and strengthen the relationships that you already have. So it's a powerful tool to strengthen interpersonal relationships. People who express their gratitude for each other tend to be more willing to forgive others, more willing to let go of things and not hold grudges. Giving thanks to those who have helped you will strengthen your relationships and would even promote your ability to form new relationships and maintain the ones that you already have. Just think about it. How did your significant other feel when you gave them a gift, let's say on their birthday, or a note saying that you are really grateful to have them in your life? How did your boss feel when you left a thank you card or a thank you note at the end of the year to tell them how grateful you are for their guidance? Throughout your work experience with them and all of that. You can reflect on how some of these little things, little acts of appreciation go a long way to strengthen your social relationships. And sometimes you may think it is just for a moment, but no, any thoughtful person who genuinely knows you are grateful to have them in your life would more naturally want to do things that are supportive of your welfare and well-being than to do things that would harm you, because they recognize that for the little that you are doing, you are even appreciative. One study by Dr. Emmons in 2003, you may not know who Dr. Emmons is, I just chanced on his paper and I read that. It explored the impact of practicing gratitude. And after 10 weeks of that research, their study conveyed that people who focused on gratitude showed more optimism in many areas of their lives, including health and exercise. And you can agree that when people are optimistic about themselves, they make better choices compared to when they are pessimistic, they think nothing is working right, everything is against them. They are more prone to making wrong choices. But when you are optimistic, because of a sense of gratitude you have for the goodness you have in your life, you are more likely to make choices that support your growth and well-being. I think overall, living a grateful life, whether you think your life deserves gratitude or not, will undoubtedly increase your happiness. In the whole pursuit of happiness and life satisfaction, something we are all either chasing after or looking to getting more of, gratitude offers this long-lasting effect in a positive feedback loop of many sorts. Because the more you give, the more you get. Thus, the more gratitude we experience, or the more gratitude we express, the more situations and people we will find to express gratitude towards. I can attest that being thankful can provide us with the resolve we need to make good choices in our lives and to be more skewed towards making decisions that support our growth, overall well-being and welfare. So, as you are listening to this, I just want you to reflect and think about the things in your life you are grateful for, the people in your life you are grateful for. Identify the things you have in your life that makes life worth living for you, which you did not do anything to get, which came outside of yourself, and try to connect the sources of those things. It may be people, it may be free gifts of nature, it could be from a higher power, from God. Whatever it is, just identify things in your life that you are grateful for. And you'll be amazed at how you will experience increased happiness, how your overall sense of well-being will improve, and how your relationships, be it at work or in your personal life, will be strengthened. Always acknowledge the good that you already have in your life. And there will be more good to be grateful for. In fact, acknowledging the good that you already have in your life in itself is an act of laying the foundation for abundance, growth, and continuous self-improvement. This has been Self-Discovery Revelations with me, Priscilla Apia Ejare. You can simply call me Priscilla App. Do subscribe to this channel and help my motivation so I can keep sharing more self-discovery revelations with you. You matter to me. Voice of self-discovery. Do you like a pro?